Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
Texas, what do you feel like you're failing at right now? You're talking about failure. You don't like to fail, but what do you feel like you're failing at right now?
What am I failing at right now?
Because in your head, you feel like you're failing at something.
I think always I feel like I can do more.
But where? Where specifically?
Well, so, and I don't know if this is a me thing or if this is everybody who runs a business thing, a we thing, a we or a me thing.
We or weed? What do you guys think?
I feel extremely guilty if I just, let's just say I take off work 2-3 hours early one day, or I take a weekend off. I hold a lot of guilt from taking any time off. And my team, obviously, they don't want me to feel guilty, and they remind me of that. And I've got great management people that know me on a deep level and a personal level and the struggles I go with, and they always encourage me to do those things. But there's something in me that definitely speaks to, hey, you're not doing enough. You need to do more.
Yep.
That little nagging voice.
Do you rest? Do you know how to rest?
Do you?
In what way?
Like,
in general.
Based on what you're saying, I can relate it a lot back to me, but I know I need rest, and when I try to rest, I don't know how to rest and replenish.
I rest by adding more to my plate.
Yeah, okay.
So when you take your 2 hours off or your weekend, is that because you recognize you need rest and replenishment?
So I push really hard, a lot of hours, a lot of days, a lot of months in a row, and then I'll just crash hard, like a depressive state almost. Like
your body
don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah,
want to stay in bed. Like maybe scroll through the phone, and you don't want to do nothing. You feel guilty because you're not doing anything. So you scroll through the phone, you're texting people, and you're, hey, how's things going? Man, I'm tired. No one cares, but, for good reason. Like they don't care. They recognize how hard you've worked. I'm not a good rest. Like
I literally.
What do we do to
We
rest?
were joking about this earlier. Like, honestly, the reason all this here is because I want to.
This is me.
I want to do all.
Do you take ADHD medicine?
Is this me every time we film?
Medicine.
And they're like, please move your microphone.
I literally got up in the break a minute ago and went and got my ADHD medicine to calm me down. But I'll grab this coffee and move a lot and do this. I don't know how to rest either. Literally, people will be like, you need to take a bath and
do you guys want me to school you really quick? This is your nervous system and you're living in survival mode and you need to come back into your body. This is me on my healing. This is y'all on the couch, me telling you. Your body is telling you it wants to soothe and regulate itself.
Well, this girl don't know how to. I literally, seriously, will sit in the bathtub to try to relax, and then I'm like, so what am I supposed to do?
Do you have a hot tub?
What should I do now? No.
I do, and I just don't love the chemicals. I'm going to be honest. I can't figure out how to make it healthy. How's mine? Am I doing okay?
So far, so
Winning?
good. She's
better things on the screen.
So, do you have a hot tub? Do you prefer it? Does it relax you?
This took a 180.
So I liked.
Do you have a hot tub?
Tell me about when you're in the hot tub.
On the couch with Texas Medley, do you have a hot tub?
With our husbands in the other room.
No, the casting couch.
Oh, Lord. We're moving on.
You don't know what that is. Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Oh,
just look it up. Just get on your phone. Just Google.
It's not.
Just Google the casting couch.
I'll do it while I'm on their Wi-Fi.
It doesn't come in line with our mission and...
No,
the Power Women of the Trades.
So, I haven't done it in several weeks, but I can tell a very real difference from when I set the time aside to meditate in my hot tub. I can't do it like a lot of people do. I can't sit up and try to sit here and get calm, but I can do it in a hot tub.
Do you think it's because the bubbles, the water, and the stuff's moving?
No, because I only set it at 98 degrees.
What?
I only set
That's blasphemous.
I don't want to feel the water.
I'm at 104, and I would be better if I was... Huh?
Have you never done sensory deprivation?
Done what?
Sensory deprivation.
No, what
like a float tank.
No, but I read about it. I did a hyperbaric
I
chamber
wanted to do the float.
COVID.
There's a float tank in Tulsa that I wanted to do, but it scares the hell out of me because they shut the door.
It's amazing.
Why?
Okay, so imagine you're sitting there. You're not asleep, but because the water is the same temperature as your body, you don't feel the water. There's so much salt, you float. It's completely silent and completely dark. You have no sense of your surroundings. So your mind just kind of goes wherever it goes. It is amazing. It is by far the most relaxing thing you can ever do. That I've done anyways.
I think I would have an anxiety attack because the door's shut.
I would love
You
it.
think that, but it's like instant relaxation.
Because you get overstimulated.
Super easy.
Me too. And these environments are very overstimulating for me.
Yeah, I live in overstimulation all the time.
She thrives in it.
Yeah, and it's a trauma response, I think.
How long are you in that chamber?
So the first time you do it,
Do they have one here?
yeah, there's one in Coppell.
Okay. We need some tools for sensory deprivation, though, when we can't get in a float tank.
Well, I will tell you, I don't know if it's the same thing, but I learned this on TikTok, the tapping.
Tapping.
Have you ever done this?
I have.
And you tap one at a time, though.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long. I remember it.
Yeah,
I don't
and
remember
it literally, you
specifically.
can feel yourself. I can feel myself calm down, like when I'm wigging out, and my son was making fun of me the other day because he's like, here she's tapping again. But I'm serious. If you put your feet on the ground and you just like, if you're really, especially if you're like really high strung in the moment and you just start tapping, it's something about bilateral.
It's grounding.
And
So
it
whenever
literally-
you're overstimulated or you're coming out of your body or you're reacting, you ground. And there's like there's multiple grounding techniques. That would be one, whatever you're talking about. Another thing you can do is take off your shoes and like bare feet on the floor and put all your weight on it and focus on the senses on your feet.
That must be why I always want to walk around barefoot.
You know, it's
Maybe.
a lot of this stuff
Not
sounds
in
like
the Gaylord Texan.
pseudo-science type stuff. You know, it sounds to a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's foo-foo science, pseudo-science. What do you call it?
Woo-woo.
Woo-woo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Woo.
a lot of people say it sounds like that, but there's a lot of cultures that have known this stuff for way longer than we've known it
Right.
in Western culture, but Western medicine and science is now saying, oh, yeah, there is something to that.
Western medicine wants to keep you sick.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
it's recurring
monetized.
revenue.
It's a membership.
So what's next for you? What's Medley Heat and Air and now plumbing doing now? What's the goal?
Medley heating, air conditioning,
And-
electric generators, plumbing,
.com.
septic,
.com.
No.
at all.
Right now, it's just, one thing at a time. Try to make sure we're world class at everything. I don't like the idea of, throwing too many different verticals out there at one time and kind of being half-assed at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, even if you see our reputation online, we're 5-star everywhere, not 4.9, 5.
Oh,
On
burn.
on Google, on Yelp,
Burn
on
champion
Facebook,
and quality.
Well,
Are you pouring
4
salt on your wounds right now?
I heard you're a 4.8.
sorry.
I love that for you. I really do. I love that for you.
Well, that's a
it's
stressful
amazing.
thing. That's stressful, though.
It is
Yeah, because
That's
that
stressful.
one day is going to come out from under
That's
you.
so hard.
That's stressful.
I can't. Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
So
That's rough.
it's very important to me that we offer world-class plumbing services, much like what we've been able to do with HVAC and offering world-class HVAC services. So really want to build those systems, do a great job with those, and scale that next.
You are 2 weeks into plumbing. I want to have a phone. We're going to book a Zoom call with you, me and Leslie, literally for funds at 6 months. And
Okay.
the question's going to be, tell me how the plumbing
But you
edition's
say
been.
plumbing is more drama.
It's not more
This
drama.
is what Cassie tells me, and I'm like, well, then we
It's
need to
not
add
more
HVAC
drama, and I always
because-
have to clarify for my team because I know several of them listen. It is not more drama. The difference is you have done heat and air for how long?
Since I was a kid.
Right. And you have not been a plumber for how long? You've never been a plumber.
That's right.
So your expectation for that plumbing department is never going to be what you want it to be because you're going to compare it to heat and air because that's what we know. And so Oscar and I struggled with that. And so we had to realize that we were just not managing it properly, and we had to recognize that they were different.
The one thing I'll
And you
say
said
about
they were more dramatic.
Well,
one
they were
thing-
more dramatic because we didn't know how to manage them.
in Texas at least, To get a journeyman plumber's license, I believe it's 4 years of experience.
Yeah.
Before you can be on a job on your own.
Yeah. That's Oklahoma.
8 years to get a master's.
Yeah.
But what about HVAC?
I don't know.
3 years.
I can hire a guy right now, put him in a truck tomorrow.
It's weird that they're so different. I feel like there's
That's not how
more.
Oklahoma
Is it
is.
not the same for HVAC in Oklahoma? It is similar to plumbing. Okay.
4 years before you can put them
We're
in a truck
asking
on their
Mr.
own for HVAC.
Harpole and Mr. Pound
I can
in the
take anybody in this
background.
room and throw them in a truck. 3 years?
3 for HVAC. Yeah, I'd say for HVAC.
Because
But
Jimmy works,
in
you work with
Texas-
trade pros.
I can take anybody in this room and throw them in a truck, and they can.
Yeah.
They can't
Oh, 3
sell
minutes.
jobs
You
or
said 3
contract
minutes
jobs,
on
but
a
they
video.
can work for me or work for a contractor.
And they can do
performing
the
work.
repairs.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's why we don't reciprocate with Texas.
Because Texas is like the Wild West.
Oklahoma doesn't do
where
that,
We're all
but
getting back to.
I feel
But
like
that's only HVAC. Again, electrical and plumbing have
I
way
think
higher
It's weird
probably-
that they have that differentiation.
I think that's probably the most frustrating thing about our trade is because I want to like keep our trades whole and successful, but a lot of people don't jump into it because of how long the licensing takes, and a lot of the stuff can be trained in 6 to 12
But
months.
they can make a lot of money before the licensing happens.
Yeah, that's
like,
true,
I
too.
think it's fair to say you can still make a really good living while you're being trained properly before that licensing happens. There's many ways that can happen.
So, but to your point, still though, you started your plumbing department, and these guys came in trained, and I'm not saying they're not. They just have a different mentality, and this is across the nation because we've talked to several other people. It's not just an Oklahoma thing. They just have a different mentality, not a bad mentality. They just have done things differently. And so for me, I was back then was like, I don't understand if we can run ductwork and you run PVC in the same attic. Why are we making this a different science? And it is still a different science. It's mentality, though.
But back in the day in Oklahoma, it was one license. It was mechanical, right? And plumbing fell under, like many, many, many years ago. Yeah, and they grandfathered that in. A lot of the companies in our area
have
more
one license.
prominent. Yeah,
Some of the old companies
yeah,
have the one license.
it was grandfathered in.
But I still just want to know, because everyone who adds a vertical, because we're going to have to add electric at some point. We've grown so much at this point that I think I never understood that, but why didn't people just say HVAC or just plumbing or whatever? And we added plumbing because we couldn't find a great plumber to do stuff for us. It's going to end up the same thing with electric, not because we can't find a great electrician, but sometimes we need we want the experience to maintain and be the same for our customer, and we want to control the end of the job, right? And so if you're waiting on a electrician and who's not affiliated with your company, they're not going to fulfill the need that you need. Like I cannot stand if I'm like, why is this job not closed out yet? Well, we're waiting on an electrician. You know what I mean? And so,
Did you say you were 2 weeks in with plumbing?
Yes.
How do you feel about it? Like, are you excited about it?
Oh, I'm real excited.
You like it?
Oh, I'm particularly excited because
they're pulling
You
rev.
said you had an
they're
amazing
pulling revenue that HVAC isn't right now.
Well, because plumbing is way more consistent.
Plumbing is
You
way more
don't have
consistent.
Well, why wouldn't I be excited about that?
Well,
But you're
right,
about to go
right.
into, it's funny to
Man,
me.
you're in a tough market too.
Because a lot of
In what
plumbers
way?
will say,
Like Dallas is tough. There's a lot of businesses. There's a lot of
It's definitely saturated.
premium businesses out here.
But there are. I'll add that. I don't want to say I don't think we run a. I don't want to say that we don't run a great business because I think we do. I think it's probably one of the easier places to be in business. Every home has multiple systems. Every home has plumbing, obviously.
Yeah.
The average income is pretty good in this
Yeah.
area. There's a need.
Right.
There's people that can afford to,
Right.
to
I think
solve
that
that need.
oversaturation's a mentality too, though, because people will say that all day long.
But then that's like saying culture's a mentality. Like there's
It is.
obviously
There
data
is
that
But-
some markets are harder. And I would say Dallas would be harder than Oklahoma City. And that's fair to say. I'm
But
not
there's
saying
a
that as
freaking.
an op.
Did you see how many people were on the highway last night? There are a lot of people that live here. There's still a lot of
And
customers.
you'll have a
We're getting
little
a heavy influx of people too.
Well, and you
Yeah.
have a lot of little
Californians?
micro.
A lot of that.
You have a lot of micro economies here too, even
What do you
within like neighbor, in Oklahoma City where we'll say, oh, the metro, but then there's all these little micro cities that each are very unique.
like Allen,
in data.
Texas, all
Okay.
your little Carrollton, all your little.
We have a really large service area. But to be honest, we could probably niche that down even more if we wanted to. I mean, like in Dallas is, I don't
Yeah,
know
we
the
run
number.
pretty dense.
Yeah,
So
there's
we
not
only
a
go 30
chance
minutes
we could-
one
Yeah.
direction.
Not a chance we could service Dallas. I mean, we could. You're doing a great job at it. I know we could, but it would stress me the hell out. Just driving here last night, I was like,
She texted me. She goes, "Why is everyone out driving around at 7:30 at night? Where
yeah,
are
like
they going?"
we shut down.
Oh, no, it'll
And
2,
then
3 in
these
the morning.
drivers
it
here are
continues.
aggressive, and I'm an aggressive driver. Oscar does not like. Oscar does not like riding with me.
Because
I'm
that's
an
how I
aggressive
feel
driver.
about
Are you an
Brent. I need
aggressive
to put
driver or are you a bad
Oscar,
driver?
you and I need to
I'm
get in a
good
car
driver.
and
I'm
Brent
just
and Cassie
aggressive.
because
Like
he
I will
stresses
fly
me out.
past you at 100 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
I will fly past you at 100 miles an hour,
I
and
wish I
Oscar's
didn't
like
know that
pushing
about
the
you.
brake. But I'm
Y'all
good.
Need to pay attention because your insurance rates reflect that. Okay.
For insurance
You need
and
to
legal
be
purposes, that was a joke.
mindful.
You want to hear
of-
something funny? I'll have old people like pass me and like mad at me for like driving too slow.
And
I'm the slowest
and your
fucking
Tesla,
driver.
And your Tesla.
I drive
Got
so
my
slow.
Bessie
Do you
in a
have a
Tessie.
Tesla?
I do.
Yeah.
Is it like one of the truck ones or a car one?
No, it's a car. It's,
Are the
nothing,
truck
it's
ones-
nothing fancy.
Do you also drink White Claw?
I like White Claw.
Oh my gosh.
And those little Topo Chico drinks too.
Yes, I love
I like
the Topo
those.
Chico.
We're scrapping this whole episode. Never mind. We are not airing
love
this
it.
You cannot have the name Texas, drink White Claw, and drive a Tesla
And he's
car.
working on a man bun.
Hey, I like his man bun.
I do like the hair. You're a whole new
like
vibe.
his man bun.
This is like I feel like a special relationship with Texas through the years of like probably one of my
I
first
didn't know y'all
friendships.
were on House Call Pro together.
Yeah.
Is that how
One of our
all
first
came to be?
friendships back in the day. Oscar, I'm looking at Oscar back there. We've been buddies with Texas for a long time. Actually, yesterday, Texas called and I answered the phone and he said, "Hey, sweetheart." And I felt Oscar's frustration next to me before he realized it was Texas Medley. And then he's like, "Okay." Like, I felt like he was just like, "Oh, hey."
For
what are you doing?"
context, if Oscar calls me, he's still going to get a hey,
Hey,
sweetheart.
He
sweetheart.
still
Also-
gets a hey, sweetheart.
Yes, for context, for sure. But I could feel him in the car like, what? And then he's like, it's Texas. And I'm like, okay. But
Hey,
anyway.
did you get your 100 acres yet?
I haven't.
Are you working on it?
Oh yeah. Well, did I ever show y'all the property I want? Like
No, but
there's an
last
exact. I'm
year at
manifesting
Super
a
Meeting-
very specific property.
I'm going to help you with that. I want to manifest
You're
that with you.
manifesting it?
A very very specific property.
So you already know it.
I know the exact one.
That's
There's a
good.
14-acre lake on it in East Texas. The name of that lake is Medley Lake.
Stop it. How far is that from where
It's
you
about
are?
2.5 hours from here.
So what happens if you buy that? You'll just
Then
have
he's just
someone
gonna-
running.
Then I'll go out there and I'll play on
You'll
it.
open a branch out there.
No,
Okay, but what if you just make your own
I don't
Medley
think the
Lake?
economy could support it out there.
Do you remember when we were at Super Meeting in Austin and he was like talking about his 100 acres?
No. I
I
was
do
not on that
remember
side
that.
of the table.
I'm
like
going.
that.
I will get it.
Because me
Yeah.
and him were coloring because we had to color to listen to what they were saying. I have to color or trace to be able to hear.
The reason why this episode is such a hot mess is because we all three are hot mess. We were so at Super Meeting this year, we sat at the table with the Medley team, but he wasn't there. And the whole time I gave them the play-by-play of how he behaves at a meeting.
He was. I thought he did fine.
He's
at the
fine.
meeting.
He's got a color. He
Yeah.
was coloring. He's
They
got his
have
little.
like Legos for us.
And then-
yeah,
like the-
build
yeah.
a blocks or whatever.
But that's important because tomorrow I have to sit in a meeting all day here. And I brought a notebook with my favorite pen so I can trace. And the only way I can hear what anybody's saying is if I trace.
I say that all the time to my team.
It's
Sometimes
not-
I think
it's not a knock.
I cannot give you my undevoted attention if I'm not doing something else. So like here, I'm holding my phone and I'm not trying to get on it, but I'm holding it because it gives me something else to do.
I actually tell vendors when they come in and visit us, I apologize in advance. I say, hey, I'm going to apologize to you in advance. I'm not trying to be rude. I have to move around. I know I've got this manic energy thing going on. I'm
Yeah.
going to apologize in advance to you. Please don't take it as me not
Did you
not
have
giving
a
you
I'm the
hard
same
time
way.
consideration.
growing up in school? Like you needed to move around and
I was a troubled kid.
yeah. But I think, well, factually, like especially with boys, they are not made to sit in seats all day long. They need to move around and in spurts so that they can retain information.
I think that's with girls too, though.
Since we've already talked about how Western medicine wants to keep us sick, we can talk about how schooling and how sitting in seats, like males were not made for that. That is not how they learn. That is, and then they get labeled with these diagnoses that something is wrong, but they're just not made that way.
I still think it's girls too, though, because I'm telling you right now that my daughter
for alpha girls
is the same.
I feel the same.
She has to be doing something, getting up. But
How
also,
did we make
Leslie
it?
Harpole is the same, because we
Yes,
are going to
she
finish
is.
this podcast in a minute, and she's going to have to go and walk for a second to get her blood pumping. She's going to try to make me go walk with her, and then we're going to be sweating.
because I make her take steps.
I don't mind the steps, but I'm like on the schedule here, and she's like, we have got to go walk. I'm like, and when we normally film in Oklahoma City, I'm not familiar with the area, so I'm like, are we safe? Should we be walking in this area?
Everybody's safe with the
She's like,
380.
Cassie thinks she's in the hood anytime she's not at home.
Everybody's safe with the 380.
In my little safe. It's not that I think I'm in the hood. I am so sheltered from like life. Like I drive 6 miles to work and then 6 miles home and 6 miles to work. And
Jimmy,
then
she thinks we're in the ghetto down there. She don't even know. She don't know.
And then,
take you to my hood.
Oh, the only time I got I've actually never been panicked about it, except for this one time I come flying into the studio, and I tell Jimmy that I just stopped at this 7-Eleven, and he was like, dear God, Cassie, that one has like armed security guards outside. And I was like, what? Never saw them. So that's how, because I live in a bubble, because there were armed security guards at that gas station, and I never even
I remember
noticed
driving
them.
to the first of all, when I drove to Oklahoma, I went to your old shop.
Yeah.
But just like driving around that whole area, I remember thinking like how cool that area is. I love that type
but
of
it's very like small,
like,
not busy.
Yeah.
Not busy.
Slower pace. Mm-hmm. Like what a lot of people think of when they think of Texas, which most of Texas is not that.
Yeah. That's exactly how
Do
our
you
area
feel
is.
like Texas is God's country?
No.
What is God's country to
No,
you?
I mean there are parts that are, but there's a lot of, I went to Ohio.
That was God's country to you?
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Really?
It was beautiful.
I guess I've never been.
It was on a lake there.
I mean, I'm
Where?
sure it gets really cold and it's not God's country no more. He turns his back on it.
You went to a lake there or something, right?
I went to see some family.
Yeah.
You have family all over?
You can say that.
I do too. I got family all over. A lot of them I don't even have a blood relation to. I got family.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yep. I got family all over. All right. Well, we've loved chatting with you.
What do we have? We have some good content here.
We do. We're going to schedule a 6-month Zoom to talk about plumbing.
I want to talk about plumbing.
Only just because I want to make sure, see your perception of it.
I think
it's
we
not
need
bad.
Texas to stay for the call-by-call track, 'cause I think he would love it.
Okay.
I don't know what his plans are today.
We are going to wrap this one up, though. So,
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Texas. You're the best.
Thank you.
Texas.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review in Apple. And make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.